Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something powerful. The strength we need in life does not come from our own willpower alone, but from a foundation that goes much deeper, much wider, and much stronger than anything we could ever create ourselves. Imagine a foundation as solid as rock, one that cannot be shaken even by the most violent of storms. This is the strength we experience when we choose to seek God first in every situation. It is the strength that holds us up even when life feels overwhelming, when we're faced with setbacks, heartache, or the challenges that seem to break others. When we seek God first, we're essentially anchoring ourselves in something far beyond human limitations. Think of a tree deeply rooted in the soil. No matter how strong the wind blows, the tree remains standing because its roots go deep. When we ground ourselves in faith, we develop roots that can withstand the harshest conditions. We're no longer tossed around by our own emotions, nor are we dependent on the shifting opinions of others or the temporary nature of our own successes and failures. Instead, we're rooted in something unchanging, something that offers us a constant source of renewal and stability. This foundation is more than just a feeling or an ideal. It's a guiding presence in every decision, every thought, and every action. When we choose to seek God first, we're choosing a higher perspective, one that isn't affected by our immediate circumstances. It allows us to rise above our personal biases, our fears, and even our ambitions. God's perspective is far broader, wiser, and more profound than anything we could comprehend on our own. Seeking this perspective brings clarity and confusion and wisdom when we're at a loss. It lets us see beyond our limited view and trust in the greater design, which often turns out to be much better than any plan we could imagine. Faith, in this sense, isn't just a word, it's an active, living force that helps us face each day with courage. It's not blind belief, it's an understanding that there is a divine intelligence at work, a source of wisdom that knows exactly what we need even when we don't. Seeking God first places us in alignment with that wisdom, and it becomes a wellspring of strength. When we lean into this strength, we become more resilient, able to handle challenges without letting them define us. We recognize that setbacks are not the end of the story, but are instead part of a larger narrative that's still unfolding. As we seek God first, we also experience a shift in the way we approach relationships, work, and the myriad responsibilities in life. Rather than being pulled in every direction by outside expectations, we find ourselves centered and focused. We become less concerned with what others think of us and more attuned to what God is guiding us toward. This alignment brings with it a sense of peace, a confidence that we're exactly where we need to be, doing exactly what we need to do, and that we're not alone in the journey. The strength that comes from this foundation is empowering. It allows us to live with integrity, to make choices that reflect our highest values, and to stay true to our purpose. When we seek God first, we're reminded that we are more than our circumstances, more than our past mistakes, and more than the fleeting opinions of others. We're given a perspective that enables us to see ourselves through the eyes of love, compassion, and grace, which in turn allows us to extend that same love and grace to those around us. In seeking God first, we build resilience against fear, doubt, and anxiety. We gain the ability to see fear not as a barrier, but as an invitation to deepen our faith. Doubt no longer paralyzes us, but propels us forward, encouraging us to trust more deeply. Anxiety begins to lose its grip because we understand that there is a plan beyond our understanding, a divine timing that is always perfect, even if we can't see it at the moment. This isn't to say that challenges disappear, but rather that we are no longer defined by them. We're free to navigate through life without constantly being shaken by every twist and turn. Our lives become an expression of that deep-rooted strength. People can sense it in the way we handle challenges, in the way we respond to setbacks, and in the calm presence we bring to situations of turmoil. This isn't something we need to force. It flows naturally because our foundation is strong. And as this foundation grows deeper, we find that we no longer need to search for strength in external sources because it's already within us. This inner strength enables us to face not only our own struggles, but also to be a source of encouragement for others. Seeking God first transforms our experience of life itself. It doesn't mean that we're immune to hardship, but it does mean that we're prepared. We're prepared because we have a foundation that's rooted in love, in truth, and in a wisdom that surpasses human understanding. This strength guides us in moments of doubt, fuels us in times of exhaustion, and gives us hope when all else seems to fail. It's the kind of strength that the world cannot take away, because it's not based on worldly things, it's based on a divine connection that transcends any temporary setback or fleeting emotion. So when we choose to seek God first in every situation, we're choosing a path of true empowerment. We're choosing a source of strength that doesn't depend on what's happening around us, but on what is unchangeable within us. When we start by seeking God first, something remarkable happens. We begin to align ourselves with a purpose that goes beyond personal ambition, daily routines, or even the challenges we face. This alignment gives life a deeper sense of meaning and direction, one that extends beyond what we might typically chase or strive for. Rather than being led by the fleeting pressures of society or the opinions of others, we start moving in sync with a purpose that's rooted in something far greater and infinitely more profound. By seeking God first, we tap into this divine purpose, setting ourselves on a path that leads to true fulfillment. Imagine our lives as rivers with countless twists, turns, and obstacles along the way. When we're out of alignment with our purpose, we often find ourselves swimming upstream, struggling against the current, feeling exhausted and often confused. But when we align with a purpose rooted in faith, it's as if we're carried by the flow of the river rather than struggling against it. This sense of alignment brings with it a peace that transcends understanding, an inner knowing that we are where we're meant to be and doing what we're meant to do, even if it doesn't always make sense from a worldly perspective. This alignment also brings clarity. So often in life we can be clouded by doubts, by endless what-ifs, or by the constant noise of what others think we should do. But when we seek God first and align ourselves with that higher purpose, these distractions start to fade. We gain a clearer sense of what truly matters, a sharper focus on what's worth our energy and what isn't. This clarity allows us to prioritize not just our time and energy, but our entire lives. We find ourselves more able to make decisions that honor our deepest values and move us closer to our true purpose. It becomes easier to say no to things that don't serve us and to say yes to what truly matters, even if it's challenging or requires sacrifice. With this alignment also comes a sense of direction that isn't swayed by changing circumstances. Many people go through life feeling lost, directionless, or constantly trying to find themselves. But when we seek God first, we find a path that's grounded in divine wisdom. This path isn't always straightforward, nor is it free from obstacles, but it's illuminated by a sense of knowing that we're being guided. We don't have to rely solely on our own understanding or our own limited perspective, because we're connected to a source of infinite knowledge and insight. This direction becomes a compass that keeps us steady even when everything around us is uncertain or unpredictable. Aligning with a higher purpose by seeking God also brings a sense of peace. This isn't just any peace, but one that's deeply rooted in faith and trust. When we're walking in alignment with our divine purpose, we experience peace that doesn't rely on external conditions. This peace stems from a sense of being right where we're supposed to be, even if things don't look perfect on the surface. It's a peace that remains steady in the face of adversity and provides comfort during times of struggle. Instead of constantly searching for happiness in external achievements or material success, we find joy in simply knowing that we're aligned with a purpose that's bigger than ourselves. Another powerful shift that happens when we align with a higher purpose is that we become more resilient. Life's challenges, setbacks, and disappointments no longer feel as devastating because we're grounded in something greater. We realize that every experience, whether good or bad, has a role to play in our growth and our journey toward fulfilling that purpose. This resilience doesn't mean that we won't face difficult moments or struggle with doubt. It means that we're able to face them with a deeper understanding and a stronger sense of inner strength. We begin to see every challenge as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to draw closer to our purpose rather than as an obstacle that threatens to derail us. Aligning with a purpose rooted in faith also transforms how we view success. In a world that often measures success in terms of material wealth, status, or recognition, this alignment gives us a new definition. Success becomes less about external validation and more about fulfilling the purpose we were created for. It's about making a positive impact, using our talents for good, and contributing in a way that uplifts others. We begin to measure success by the legacy we leave behind, by the lives we touch, and by the extent to which we've lived in accordance with our values. This shift allows us to pursue our goals with a sense of passion and commitment, but without the constant anxiety or pressure to prove ourselves to others. Moreover, seeking God first and aligning with our true purpose brings about a transformation in how we view others and our relationships. When we're aligned with the divine purpose, we naturally become more compassionate, more understanding, and more open-hearted. We start to see others not as competitors or threats, but as fellow travelers on their own unique journeys. We're able to forgive more easily, to let go of grudges, and to see the good in others. This shift doesn't only improve our relationships, it also strengthens our sense of community and connection. We begin to realize that our purpose is not just about individual fulfillment, but also about contributing to the well-being of those around us. In aligning ourselves with a higher purpose, we also experience a profound sense of gratitude. Instead of constantly striving for more or feeling as though we're lacking, we're able to see the blessings already present in our lives. This gratitude doesn't just make us feel good, it shifts our entire perspective. We become more content, more joyful, and more appreciative of the small moments that often go unnoticed. Our lives are no longer defined by what we want to achieve, but by the richness of each moment and the fulfillment of living in alignment with our purpose. Aligning with our true purpose ultimately allows us to live more authentically. We're no longer bound by the expectations of others or by societal pressures. Instead, we're able to live in a way that feels true to who we are, in harmony with our values and beliefs. This authenticity is not only liberating for ourselves, but inspiring for others as well. When we live in alignment with our purpose, we become a light for others, a source of encouragement, and an example of what it means to live a life of meaning, faith, and integrity. When we seek God first in all things, we begin to experience a kind of inner peace that transcends what can be achieved through any amount of external success or worldly fulfillment. This peace is not superficial, nor is it fleeting. It goes deep within us, rooted in a sense of trust and confidence in something far greater than ourselves. Unlike peace that comes from temporary pleasures or from moments where everything seems to go perfectly, this peace does not depend on circumstances. It's a quiet, steady assurance, an unwavering calm that persists even in the face of life's uncertainties. This inner peace serves as an anchor, grounding us no matter what is happening around us. Think of a ship in the midst of a turbulent sea. When anchored, it may still sway and move with the waves, but it is not at risk of being lost or overturned. Similarly, the peace we gain by seeking God becomes an anchor that holds us steady even when life feels chaotic or unpredictable. It keeps us rooted, helping us to remain calm and composed rather than becoming overwhelmed by our circumstances. This calm is not denial, it's a profound understanding that even if we don't see the full picture, we are held and supported by a wisdom that does. This inner peace also serves as a source of resilience, allowing us to face challenges and setbacks without losing our sense of self or purpose. When we are grounded in faith, difficulties do not knock us down as easily because we know that our value and worth do not depend on the outcome of any single situation. We become resilient not because we are unaffected by challenges, but because we know we have a foundation that cannot be shaken. This peace gives us the strength to endure hardships, to bounce back from failures, and to continue moving forward even when the road is tough. In this way, peace is not passive, it's an active force that strengthens us and allows us to persevere. Moreover, seeking God's guidance first creates a relationship between us and this source of peace, one that grows stronger over time. As we consistently turn to God, our trust deepens and we start to recognize that no problem, no fear, and no uncertainty can ever shake the peace that is rooted in a connection with Him. This relationship becomes an intimate dialogue, one that is always accessible, whether through prayer, reflection, or simply sitting quietly in God's presence. With each moment we spend nurturing this connection, our peace grows, as does our trust in the wisdom and purpose behind every situation. This peace, however, is not just a personal experience, it extends to how we relate to others. When we carry this inner calm within us, we are able to approach others with compassion and patience rather than judgment or frustration. We become less reactive, more understanding, and able to see beyond the surface of situations. We realize that everyone is carrying their own burdens, and with this insight, we are more likely to offer kindness and forgiveness rather than being quick to anger or resentment. Our relationships improve because our inner peace allows us to give others the benefit of the doubt, to listen more openly, and to respond with empathy instead of defensiveness. Having this peace also allows us to live more fully in the present. So often people find themselves anxious or stressed about the future or preoccupied with past mistakes. This distracts from the present moment and creates a cycle of worry and regret that robs us of peace. However, when we seek God first and trust in His timing, we become more capable of releasing the need to control what's coming next or to dwell on what's already happened. We come to understand that each moment is part of a greater journey, and that peace is found in letting go of the past and not fearing the future. Instead of being consumed by what-ifs, we are free to embrace each day with gratitude and an open heart. One of the most profound aspects of this peace is how it frees us from the need to constantly seek approval from others. In today's world, many are driven by the desire for validation, whether through achievement status or the approval of those around them. But when we have the peace that comes from seeking God, we are no longer trapped by the need for external validation. We realize that our worth is not defined by others' opinions, nor is it dependent on any achievement. We begin to understand that our value is intrinsic, grounded in our relationship with God. This realization liberates us from comparison, jealousy, and the pressure to constantly prove ourselves. We find a quiet confidence that allows us to walk our own path with a sense of dignity and self-respect. This inner peace also enhances our ability to make wise decisions. When our minds are cluttered with stress, this confidence also brings with it a deep sense of peace, even in the face of adversity. When we know that we are not walking alone and that our journey is guided, we are able to remain calm and composed in situations that might otherwise cause stress or anxiety. This peace is not passive, it's an active trust that allows us to face each challenge with clarity and determination. We become more resilient, better equipped to handle difficulties, and less likely to be overwhelmed by circumstances beyond our control. This resilience is a powerful aspect of divine confidence, as it allows us to keep moving forward, even when the road is rough, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger. In addition, this courage and confidence extend to how we interact with others. When we are secure in our relationship with God and confident in our purpose, we are less likely to feel threatened by others' success or to view them as competition. Instead, we are able to celebrate others' achievements, to encourage those around us, and to offer support without fear that it will diminish our own worth. This generosity of spirit enriches our relationships, fostering a sense of community and mutual respect. We become more willing to share our own experiences, to offer guidance and support, and to lift others up because we are secure in our own identity. This confidence allows us to lead with kindness and compassion, creating an environment where everyone can thrive. Finally, seeking God first and developing this divine confidence enables us to stand up for what is right, even when it's difficult or unpopular. There will be moments when doing the right thing requires courage, when standing up for our values or advocating for others may invite criticism or pushback. However, when we are grounded in a strong faith, we are able to act with integrity and to speak our truth without fear. We understand that our confidence comes not from the approval of others, but from a higher authority, and this assurance gives us the strength to make decisions based on our principles rather than on convenience or popularity. This moral courage is an essential part of divine confidence, allowing us to make choices that honor our beliefs and contribute to the greater good. As we continue to seek God first, our confidence grows, transforming not only how we see ourselves, but also how we approach life as a whole. This confidence is not boastful or dependent on accolades. It is a steady, resilient assurance rooted in the knowledge that we are supported, guided, and deeply loved by a higher power. We become capable of facing life's challenges with courage, of making decisions that reflect our highest values, and of living in a way that is both fulfilling and impactful. This confidence is a gift that empowers us to be our truest selves, to walk our unique path with integrity, and to inspire others to do the same. When we seek God first in every situation, we cultivate an extraordinary sense of gratitude that profoundly impacts our lives. This gratitude is more than a fleeting feeling. It becomes a deep-seated attitude that shapes our perspective and influences our daily experiences. It allows us to recognize the abundance that surrounds us, shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have. This shift is transformative as it opens our eyes to the many blessings, big and small, that often go unnoticed amidst life's challenges and distractions. Gratitude begins with acknowledging the presence of God in our lives. When we actively seek God, we become more attuned to His gifts and provisions. This awareness fosters a sense of appreciation for everything that sustains us: our health, our relationships, the beauty of nature, and the opportunities that come our way. We start to see that every day is filled with moments worthy of thanks, and this realization encourages us to express our gratitude openly. Whether it's through prayer, journaling, or sharing with others, expressing gratitude reinforces our connection to the divine and deepens our sense of fulfillment. Moreover, this gratitude acts as a powerful antidote to negativity. In a world that often emphasizes scarcity, competition, and comparison, it's easy to fall into a mindset of lack and dissatisfaction. We can easily focus on what isn't going right or what we wish we had. However, when we consciously seek God and practice gratitude, we retrain our minds to focus on the positives. This shift allows us to acknowledge our challenges while also recognizing the strengths, resources, and support we have at our disposal. It doesn't mean we ignore our problems. Rather, we choose to view them through a lens of gratitude, which enables us to approach difficulties with a more hopeful and resilient attitude. Gratitude also enhances our relationships with others. When we practice thankfulness, we become more aware of the contributions others make to our lives. This recognition fosters a spirit of appreciation that can deepen our connections with family, friends, and colleagues. We are more likely to express our thanks, celebrate others' successes, and offer support when we acknowledge the positive impact they have on us. This creates a positive feedback loop where our gratitude inspires others to act kindly and generously, leading to a more supportive and harmonious community. In addition, cultivating gratitude encourages us to be present in the moment. When we focus on what we have to be thankful for, we become more mindful of our experiences and surroundings. We learn to savor the little things: a warm cup of coffee in the morning, the laughter of a loved one, or a beautiful sunset. This mindfulness enhances our overall well-being as it encourages us to live fully in each moment, rather than rushing through life in pursuit of future goals or desires. By practicing gratitude, we train ourselves to find joy in the present, which contributes to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. The practice of gratitude also has a profound impact on our mental and emotional health. Research has shown that individuals who regularly practice gratitude experience lower levels of stress and anxiety and report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. This is because gratitude helps to shift our focus away from negative thoughts and feelings. When we intentionally acknowledge the good in our lives, we create a more balanced perspective that allows us to cope more effectively with challenges. Gratitude acts as a buffer against the pressures of life, providing us with the emotional resilience needed to navigate difficulties with grace. Furthermore, gratitude fosters a sense of hope and optimism. When we are grateful, we begin to develop a mindset that expects good things to come our way. This optimistic outlook is not based on blind faith or unrealistic expectations, rather. It's rooted in the understanding that life is filled with both challenges and blessings. By choosing to focus on what we are thankful for, we cultivate a hopeful attitude that empowers us to pursue our dreams and aspirations. We become more willing to take risks, embrace change, and pursue opportunities, knowing that our gratitude provides a strong foundation from which to grow and flourish. As we seek God first and embody gratitude, we also become more generous in spirit. In summary, seeking God first and cultivating gratitude profoundly shapes our lives. It allows us to see the abundance in our lives, enhances our relationships, promotes emotional well-being, and inspires generosity. By practicing gratitude, we become more present, more resilient, and more connected to a higher purpose. This attitude of thankfulness not only enriches our own lives, but also has a ripple effect, positively influencing those around us and creating a more compassionate and supportive community. As we embrace this journey of gratitude, we discover that the act of seeking God and acknowledging His blessings transforms our perspective, enriching our lives in immeasurable ways. When we seek God first in every situation, we begin to experience a profound sense of inner peace that permeates our lives. This peace is not contingent upon external circumstances or fleeting moments of happiness. It is a deep, abiding tranquility that comes from our relationship with the divine. In a world filled with chaos, uncertainty, and distractions, cultivating this inner peace becomes essential for our overall well-being and spiritual growth. It allows us to navigate the ups and downs of life with grace, resilience, and a steadfast sense of purpose. This inner peace begins to manifest when we make a conscious decision to place our trust in God rather than relying solely on our understanding or ability to control outcomes. Often we find ourselves overwhelmed by the pressures of life, feeling as though we need to have everything figured out. However, when we seek God first, we acknowledge that we do not have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. We can surrender our worries and anxieties, recognizing that there is a higher power guiding our path. This act of surrender is liberating. It frees us from the burdens of fear and doubt, allowing us to experience the peace that comes from trusting in God's plan. Additionally, seeking God first helps us cultivate a mindset of acceptance. Life is filled with uncertainties and challenges, and it can be easy to become frustrated or disheartened when things don't go according to our expectations. However, when we place our faith in God, we learn to accept the ebb and flow of life with grace. We understand that challenges are not signs of failure or abandonment. Instead, they are opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. This acceptance fosters a sense of peace, as we recognize that we can navigate whatever comes our way with God by our side. Rather than resisting the inevitable challenges of life, we learn to embrace them as part of our journey. Moreover, seeking God first enables us to shift our focus from problems to possibilities. When we are overwhelmed by difficulties, it's easy to become fixated on what's going wrong or what we lack. However, by placing our trust in God, we begin to see our situations from a different perspective. We start to recognize that every obstacle can lead to a new opportunity. Every setback can be a stepping stone toward growth. This shift in focus empowers us to approach challenges with optimism and hope, knowing that God has a purpose in every situation. This sense of possibility allows us to move forward with confidence, knowing that we can create positive change in our lives. Inner peace is also cultivated through gratitude, which we develop as we seek God first. When we focus on what we are thankful for, we naturally shift our mindset away from negativity and stress. We become more aware of the blessings in our lives, both big and small. This recognition fosters a sense of contentment and joy, even in the midst of challenges. Gratitude helps us to see the good that exists in our lives, reminding us that we have so much to be thankful for, regardless of our circumstances. This practice of gratitude invites peace into our hearts as we learn to appreciate the present moment rather than constantly yearning for what we do not have. Seeking God first also encourages us to prioritize our spiritual well-being, which is essential for cultivating inner peace. By dedicating time to prayer, meditation, and reflection, we create a sacred space in our lives where we can connect with the divine. This connection nourishes our souls and allows us to tap into a deeper sense of peace that transcends worldly troubles. When we prioritize our relationship with God, we align ourselves with a source of strength and wisdom that guides us through life's challenges. This alignment brings clarity and purpose, allowing us to navigate our journeys with confidence and assurance. Furthermore, as we seek God first, we cultivate healthier coping mechanisms for dealing with stress and anxiety. In times of difficulty, many people resort to unhealthy habits, such as excessive worrying, isolation, or negative self-talk. However, when we place our trust in God, we learn to respond to stress with faith rather than fear. We begin to recognize that we can turn to God for comfort and guidance rather than relying solely on our limited resources. This shift in perspective empowers us to approach challenges with a sense of calm and resilience, knowing that we are supported by a loving and powerful presence. Another important aspect of experiencing inner peace through seeking God first is the understanding of forgiveness. Holding on to resentment and grudges can create turmoil within us, disrupting our peace of mind. However, when we seek God's guidance, we are reminded of the importance of forgiveness both for ourselves and for others. We learn to let go of past hurts and to release the weight of anger and bitterness. This act of forgiveness is liberating. It allows us to reclaim our peace and to move forward without the burden of past grievances. As we practice forgiveness, we create space for healing and reconciliation, fostering a sense of inner calm. Additionally, seeking God first instills in us a sense of purpose and direction. When we align our lives with divine guidance, we gain clarity about our values and priorities. This sense of purpose anchors us amid life's uncertainties, providing us with a roadmap for navigating challenges. We become more intentional in our actions and decisions, knowing that we are following a path that is aligned with our highest good. This clarity brings a sense of peace, as we no longer feel adrift or aimless. Instead, we are grounded in a sense of mission and direction. As we cultivate inner peace through seeking God first, we also learn the importance of self-care. Taking care of our physical, emotional, and spiritual needs is vital for maintaining balance and well-being. When we prioritize self-care, we create space for rest, rejuvenation, and reflection. This practice allows us to recharge our spirits and to reconnect with our sense of purpose. By caring for ourselves holistically, we foster a deeper sense of peace and stability in our lives. We become better equipped to handle challenges and to respond to stress with resilience and grace. In moments of difficulty or uncertainty, seeking God first encourages us to lean on our faith community for support. Connecting with others who share our beliefs can provide a sense of belonging and encouragement. When we come together with others in prayer, worship, and fellowship, we strengthen our sense of community and collective faith. This support network can be a source of comfort during challenging times, reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles. But the encouragement and love we receive from our faith community reinforce our inner peace and remind us of the strength that comes from unity and shared purpose. Finally, seeking God first helps us to cultivate an enduring sense of hope. Life can be unpredictable, and it is easy to become discouraged when faced with setbacks or hardships. However, when we place our trust in God, we gain the assurance that there is always a way forward, even in the darkest moments. This hope inspires us to keep moving forward, to believe in the possibility of brighter days ahead. As we cultivate this hope, we find that our inner peace remains intact, even in the midst of uncertainty. We learn to trust that God's plan for our lives is good, and this trust empowers us to face the future with confidence and anticipation. As we seek God first, we find that inner peace is not merely a fleeting emotion, it is a deep, abiding state of being that transforms our lives. This peace empowers us to navigate challenges with grace, embrace uncertainty with hope, and cultivate a life filled with purpose and meaning. It allows us to live fully in the present moment, appreciating the blessings that surround us and trusting in the divine guidance that shapes our journey. Ultimately, seeking God first leads us to a place of profound inner peace, enriching our lives in ways we never imagined possible.